Welcome to A Song of Ice and Fire Symposium. My name is Nav, and my pronouns are they, them.
And my name's Harmit, and my pronouns are Hershey, like the chocolate.
And this is A Storm of Swords. Epilogue.
Oh my god, for the last time!
In this
wrap up.
epilogue, Lady Catelyn is back in the fray.
Ooh!
Welcome to the podcast, everyone.
Hey! Oh my god.
So, Harmut, who died in these chapters?
Petire, but not the Petire we're used to. Peter,
Pimple.
Yeah, that's what they call him. I was like, what's his nickname again? Peter Pimple. It's so sad. There's so many Freys, you can only remember them by their nickname, because their normal names have no distinction. Okay, Peter Pimple, Merritt,
Frey.
most probably, definitely. And then we have a reverse death.
Mm-hmm.
Catelyn,
Mm-hmm.
supposedly.
Mm-hmm.
And then potentially, like, Beric could be dead, but or could be somewhere else, like, we just, like, don't really know. But I'm saying it just in case.
Okay.
I don't remember anybody else explicitly dying here. Yeah.
So we
recounted a lot of deaths.
What did you think of these chapters?
This chapter was nuts. Like, what? What do you mean? No. Like, I was just like, as soon as it began, I was like, what are we doing? And then I was like, okay, we're, like, on a Frey's side now. Like, not sympathetic, but I'm curious. And then, like, I don't know. It was just, like, it was so weird. And so, like I was sympathizing with a Frey. Who was there and contributed
to the
to
point.
The Red Wedding. I'm getting shut up. Okay. And then they were just like, we have a witness. I was like, what do you mean? And then Catelyn was there, and I was so confused. And I was like, what? And then I went back and I was like, should I have seen this coming? I went back and I read the Red Wedding chapter.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, okay, cool. I read the Frey lineage way too many times. Like, I'm tired of those pages now. I could probably tell you exactly where they are. And then I went back to, because the epilogue was like 12 pages. Like, it was
short.
You could read it and reread it. So I, like, reread it. And then I was like, I swear to God, what? No way. Because you were like, oh, well, I'm worried that if you read too much, you'll figure it out. How? Okay, well, I will give it, there is, like, it's giving, like, reverse Red Wedding. Like, in some ways. So I get that, but still, like, there's not that much. Anything that I could catch was, like, crumbs, where I was like, okay, that's kind of a stretch. Like, that's not really a sign in any way. But I was just, like, as soon as they were like, we have a witness, and then, like, she takes her, like, cloak hood off, and he's like, oh, it can't be. I was like, what? It can't be. What does that mean? And it was a lot.
So you didn't get it until it literally said Lady Catelyn?
No. Well, no, I got it before it said Lady Catelyn. But I didn't get it until he was like, basically when she took her hood off, I was like, oh, it's Catelyn. But until she stepped forward, I didn't get it.
Okay. Well, Let me get you something.
I'm scared. I'm so scared. Is there some sort of high heart prophecy? Because if there is, I'm gonna flip. I literally have in my notes at the end of the chapter, I'm like, I swear to God, if there's a fucking high heart or Danny prophecy, I'm gonna kill someone.
I dreamt of a roaring river and a woman that was a fish. Dead she drifted, with red tears on her cheeks. But when her eyes did open, oh, I woke from terror.
Whoa. Wait, that's a high heart one?
Yeah, that was I saw Catelyn die, but then I also saw her come back.
That's crazy. What did I think the eyes open was?
Nothing. I don't know. Not this.
Okay. No, definitely not this. Oh my god. Wow.
That's it? That's all you got?
I'm writing it down. 1 second.
So basically, nobody needs to read this book. They just need to read the Ghost of High Heart's parts and just be like, oh, right, that's
so
all that
true.
happens in this book.
Stop. That's so true. It's like that and then like a few random details. Oh my god. Wait.
I wonder if we'll ever see her again.
I hope so. She like carried. Like, come on. Arya and us. Arya and we. Us and Arya. We and. I hate grammar. None of us knew. There we go. Neither Arya nor. Okay. Arya did not know what was happening, and neither did we. And it is the. And just. Yeah. Like, that woman carried, and couldn't have known. Could not have known. Couldn't be me. And, okay, was High Heart book 3, or was it, like, book 2?
This book.
Okay, yeah, so High Heart carried all of book 3. High Heart said, here's the spark notes. Like...
Yeah.
Yeah, I just, like... Yeah, I think I started the chapter and I was like going very slowly and I was like, I'm trying to figure out what's going on. But then as it went on, I started speeding up. So that I just like was like, oh my god, okay, what's happening? So I did the reverse of what I should have done, basically. Which was speed through the beginning and then slow down and pay attention when the action started. But I did the opposite because then when the action started, I got excited. I was like, what's happening? But wow, this was weird, cause if you had told me like Catelyn comes back, I'd be like, wow, you know, like that feels like a payoff, you know, you wait the whole book and then Catelyn comes back. But this, I don't know if we want this, or if this is like we can leave this and move on with our lives. Like, is this... I don't know if we need this, like, terror demon going on.
Wow. The disrespect, honestly.
It is not disrespect. I want her to be able to lie in her grave in peace. She has gone through enough. She does not need this. This is not
Yes,
thing.
But how can she lie in peace when there's revenge to be had? Also, people wanted me to point out that, like, after the Red Wedding, at one point I asked you what are the next chapters, and you almost accidentally said Catelyn.
Stop, that's so funny. Oh, yeah, I remember that. I remember being like, oh, I fully was about to say Catelyn, and now I'm sad. Well, we still don't have a Catelyn chapter. I mean, we could. Wait, this opens up a whole new can of worms.
Yeah.
Can she become a POV now? Or are we keeping that distance from her? Wait, I didn't even consider that.
Yeah.
I don't know if she can be a POV. Like, is it head empty, no thoughts? You know, that's my question. Like, I feel like it's head empty, no thoughts, just vengeance, you know? So I don't think she can be a POV, because I don't think there's thoughts.
Well, that's for you to find out, isn't it? So, what did you think overall? Like, obviously we're like, whoa, but like, were you like, whoa, I can't believe it. It's fantastic. I can't believe this book. Or
I think so. But I think so. But I think I was so like scared of what's to come.
You were just like,
but
immediately forget the present. Let's jump to the future and what all the things it holds.
Kind of. But more just like worry about it. Not even think about it, just worry about it. So useless either way. But I think yes. But I think it's one of those things where it takes a lot to shock me in this series now.
Mm-hmm. Did this do the trick?
So I think this shocked me, but not nearly to the... Because I think with other events, there was also like emotional shock as well as just like pure like disbelief. And I think this had disbelief, but it didn't... I don't know. It wasn't like... It didn't emotionally hit.
Okay.
Because I'm like, it's not Catelyn. You know, if it had been like, you know, the Arya thing where it was like, oh, well, she just got hit in the head. Which obviously it couldn't have been, because with Catelyn it was much more extensive. Like, there's no way she could have survived, especially all the times we saw her after. So I think just because it feels more like demon vibes, it was like, I was crazy shocked, but I wasn't, like, elated over this. So I think I was just like, I was very shocked, but it didn't hit as hard as other things, just because there wasn't any, like, super big amount of like joy or dread, or there was a little bit of dread, but it wasn't nearly as much as other stuff. So I think I was just like, whoa. But it definitely felt like the perfect ending,
right?
Because I think the Red Wedding was so big,
mm-hmm.
but then we just like never really do anything with it, you know? Like, it's the Red Wedding, and then everyone like makes fun of it and brings it up, and then everyone's like, oh, weddings are cursed. And then other things happen, other tragedies, and other amazing things, like Joffrey dying and Tywin dying. So we just kind of, like, move on. So I feel like it was a nice way to, like,
bring it back
to, like, the biggest event in the book, objectively. And then, well, not objectively, like, in my opinion. And to just kind of be, and to also, like, it was just weird that it was a Frey. Once again. But it was like, once again, the Freys have such a big part, but because we don't have any, like, POVs,
mm-hmm.
it's weird and it's never been central. So I think it was a really good way to end it off, and I did really like it, but I think I just didn't have an emotional impact, but, like, I still was like, wow, this is really good. I still really enjoyed it.
Perfect book overall, though, right?
Yeah, totally. It was a good ending, because I don't know, because like I said, book 1, they literally ended with Dany and dragons. And then what was book 2 again? I think we figured this out. Oh, it was Bran. It was Bran gonna go see the eagle with his magical friends.
Crow,
like
three-eyed crow, not eagle.
Oh, yeah, whatever. I always confuse between raven, crow, and eagle in these books. I always forget what means what. And then Varys' little birds. Anyway, okay, so all of that, and then, okay, so what do you do for book 3? Like, you have, like, what do you do? Like, wow, Arya runs away for the last time? Wow. I mean, like, if Arya, like, got to Winterfell or something, or met Jaqen, that could have been a good ending, but maybe that's what we're saving, you know? I don't know what the dynamic is.
Well, the, like, ending is really the whole, like, Sansa's chapter and the Peter Baelish reveals. And this is like the cherry on top that's like, by the by, this also.
Right. No, this was good. That definitely wouldn't have been a fun place to end on. So this was like a nice little like wrap up. Not that this was like fun, but it was kind of fun.
Okay.
Like a little bit.
All right. Given how fun it was, why don't you summarize it for us?
Oh God, I can't do this. Okay.
3, 2, 1, go. Okay,
Merritt Frey is there to save his great grandson. Can we restart?
Okay. 3, 2, 1, go.
Okay, Merritt's there. He's there to save Peter Pimple. He's gonna exchange the gold, and this is him trying to prove himself and make sure he like stays around, you know. And he gets there to the like top of the old town hill, whatever. And he's like, and then he meets, like, the Brotherhood without banners, and he sees Peter hung up, and he's like, oh shit, this was my whole thing, like, this was my redeeming thing. And then they basically are like, tell us about the Red Wedding, and then he, like, tells them a bunch of shit, and then he's like,
Okay,
you can't punish me for
that's
it. Fuck.
You're horrible at this.
Shut up! You can't say that the one time I mess up.
The one time you mess up.
Hey, the last few times I have given you badass summaries, okay?
Yeah, that's because we record at
up,
2 a.m., which is your time.
when my brain is active. Right now, my brain is like zero thoughts.
It's the empty. Middle of the day. It's afternoon.
Yeah, head empty. My brain doesn't activate. My brain is active from like 8 to 10 a.m. And then I crash for basically the entire afternoon because my brain's like sleep deprived. And then it's like,
then why didn't we do this recording at 8 a.m.?
Because I didn't want to get up at 8 a.m. That's only like if I have class and I have to get up, and then, you know, the first couple hours is like survival mode, like I have to get on the bus, I have to get to university, so it's like my brain has to be awake. And then as soon as my brain realizes I'm safe at university, it's like, wow, let me just die.
Yeah, I don't need to learn or anything.
Exactly, yeah, right? Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, I think this was just like I wasn't prepared, not like a time of day thing. I think there's so much, but there's also like nothing. So
exactly.
I just didn't know how to get to the important parts.
Well, you don't have to fill 30 seconds. You can just be like, he's there to trade Peter Pimple, and they don't want to, and they've killed him already, and then they have a witness against him, which is Catelyn. The end. Like, it
but it just doesn't. You know, I want to make it flowery, and I can't do it.
So suddenly you're a gardener, like George R. R. Martin. You let your stories grow.
Of course. 3 books have gotta influence me at some point.
All right. Okay.
No, genuinely, this is one of those books that makes you want to write a book. Do you know what I mean?
Okay. What book are you writing?
No, I'm not saying... Okay, no. You're misinterpreting this. But it's one of those things where it's like, you know, when you see people, like, do something so well, so effortlessly...
I don't know if it was like, effortlessly.
Okay. Shh, let me speak. You see someone, like, you know when, like, professional dancers dance and they're so good and they make it look effortless and they're so good that you're like, this is inspiring and like, I aspire to this, but it's so, they make it look so easy that it's like just the right amount of like, maybe I could do this, even though they're a pro and they've been doing it for 50 million years, but they make it look effortless. So it's almost one of those things where it's like, not that it's effortless, but in this case, what it would be like, it's so well done and it's so like extensive and layered and like juicy that you're just like, oh, this is the way to do it. Like if I were to write a book, like this is what I should do.
And it's a culmination of the last 2 books. Like this is the big like climax, you know, if this were a movie.
Yeah.
Which makes you wonder what's to come, you know?
No, I'm scared. I'm like, how do you outdo yourself on... Well, maybe that's why, because you said people don't like the 4th book very much.
People
maybe
don't.
That's why.
I love it.
Okay, but I'm supporting people too.
The 4th book is like, honestly scrumptious. I can...
Okay. But maybe it's just like, you know, like, this book is just so intense that, like, it's one of those, no matter what you do, you're gonna think about the book right before. But by the time you get to the 5th book, you can actually start appreciating what's happening instead of being focused on what happened in the previous book and comparing. So maybe it's one of those things. I don't know.
Right, because the 4th book, everybody's comparing it to the 3rd. That's why, like, it's got really... like a skewed grading criteria, basically.
Exactly.
It's like my teacher comparing everybody else to me in the class.
Okay. All right. Little egotistical child.
Genius, you mean?
No, I'm the little genius.
I thought we were all genius.
No, but I'm the little genius. I'm the little evil genius.
Then what am I?
You can be the big mean genius.
Okay, let's get this over with. I've had enough of you today.
I'm joking. Okay. So, yeah, I think comparison is the thief of all joy. me sounding like some 30-year-old who has their life together. Meanwhile, all I do all day is compare. Okay, move on. Okay. Basically, yeah. This is. Oh yeah, it's hard because I feel like the chapters where there's so much going on internally, I suck at summarizing because I want to do it all justice instead of just because you're like, oh, we'll just summarize the basic plot events, but I'm like, that's not it. You know, it just doesn't.
No,
feel
but that's
authentic.
why we have the entire rest of the episode to get into the thoughts.
I
and
know, but
feelings.
it's nice to give a preview of everything.
All right, you do you. So,
know?
another breadcrumb that you could have followed to this conclusion is that when Arya as Nymeria pulls Catelyn's body out of the river, remember that part?
Oh yeah, she was like a bunch of people came.
Yeah, and the people are wearing like yellow and pink and stuff. And yellow is Lemon Cloak, and like pink and red, and that's like Thoris's uniform because he's a red priest, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you could have been like, oh, it's about her without banners. They're finding her body. What are they gonna do with it? Like, you know? Yeah.
But like, I feel like that wasn't the logical conclusion.
No,
I feel like the logical
but like
conclusion
it was
in that
potential.
case. I know, I could have, but I think the logical conclusion in that case was this is Arya's grief. Slay. She's coming to terms.
Oh,
with
I
it.
know. I'm pointing out everything along the way, you know?
Yeah. Okay, but I'm happy though because I thought about that instantly when this happened. I was like, and the fact that genuinely I was just impressed with myself that I even remembered that happening. But I think the only reason I remembered is because it was like not that long ago. It was like 10-15 chapters ago. So great placement, George R.R. Martin, for people who are forgetful. Okay, but my thing is, yeah, because like I said, I went back and read the Red Wedding chapter, and I tried to find that chapter where Arya has her whole grief moment, but I just, like, couldn't, so I didn't get a chance to, like, review that and confirm my suspicions, but I just remembered her being like, oh, I have to run away, there's, like, a bunch of dudes coming in, and I was like, okay, now we know who that has to be.
Yes, yeah, you were right. Okay, do we want to get into the actual thing now?
Yes.
All right, so Merritt Frey is riding along to Old Stones, which you called like Old Town somewhere.
Okay, you know what they say like town for everything.
But Old Town is a place.
Shh.
A different place.
Oh yeah, it is.
And
yeah.
Old Stones, I don't know if you remember, but on the way to the Red Wedding, this was kind of where Robb set up camp at one point, and this is where he declared Jon his heir.
Really?
Yeah. Do you think this Catelyn reborn will keep up his wishes? Oh, but then she's like, Arya's around, so I'm gonna make Arya the queen of North or whatever. Okay, I don't know what I'm saying. I'm getting ahead of myself. But basically, he's just going around like contemplating life and things and how feeling really sorry for himself, which whatever, dude. Like, you're a rich Frey. Like, who cares?
Come on.
You're feeling sorry for the Freys?
I said that when we started. I was like, why did I feel bad for the Freys?
Well, I did not really feel bad for this guy. Like, sure, he has bad luck, but he's also extremely privileged. And instead of, like, doing something with his privilege, he's just moping around because he's not more privileged, you know? And I have very little patience for that. So, he is, one of the things that he's thinking about is interesting is that they've lost basically 3 harvests and winter is coming and people gonna starve.
Yeah.
He's not gonna starve because his dad's never gonna die, but
basically
all the regular people are gonna starve. And he's like going on about his entire, like, oh, you gotta like be known for something at the Twins. Otherwise, if you don't have any distinction, people are gonna forget who you are. But his distinction is that he's known as the biggest drunk. And that's not really helpful to his reputation. And he's like, well, I'm rarely sober, but I'm sober now. Well, except for that, like, 2 horns of ale and, like, that red wine and but that was just to keep my head from pounding. I'm totally sober.
Bro, I feel bad for this guy.
Listen, yes, migraines and headaches and stuff. He has, like, a brain injury. That does suck.
Yeah. And then people are like, oh, you're just a drunk. And it's like, no, he's, like, also just, like, physically in pain all the time. Like,
yeah. So he's doing what he can to, you know, manage his pain. That is what leads a lot of people to drug use in the first place. And it's totally valid. It's just that he sucks, so that I don't want to feel bad for him.
I know, but his family sucks more. Okay, but we can't just not like him just because he's a Frey. Yes, Freys are icky.
Yeah, but he was literally part of the Red Wedding.
I know, but like,
why are you justifying Frey's actions?
But like, what was? I'm not justifying his actions. I'm just saying that I feel bad for him. Also, he like is like, outlaw stole my life. Outlaw stole my life. He's just like really like, now I'm meeting this outlaw.
Yeah.
Thing, and he's like, oh, it's like his whole thing the entire time. He's like, he feels bad for himself, and then he remembers outlaws, and he's like, screw you, and then he like sees a squirrel in the trees, and he's like, wait, it's not an outlaw. That's basically his whole chapter.
Okay. Well, yeah, he is going to meet the Brotherhood Without Banners to ransom for Peter Pimple, one of his like great like grandnephews or cousins thrice removed or something. This was one of the
people who went out to meet Kat and Rob, right? It was like the 3...
Pimple?
Yeah.
Maybe. Can't remember.
Cool.
You remember more than I do not remember. I do remember one of them was Blackwalder, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
I don't know who the others were. Anyway, he's supposed to get there by by sunset, otherwise they're gonna hang this guy, which they've already done, but we get to that later. And he has beef with outlaws in general because in his youngin' days, he was a squire for some guy. Which guy? Somebody at Craycall.
Lord Sumner.
Of Craycall. And he was a squire for him, along with Jaime Lannister.
Whoa!
And he got himself captured by the Kingswood Brotherhood. Is that right? I think that's what they call him. And they branded him with the mark of fawn on his ass. So that was fun.
Oh my god.
So he gets ransomed back, and that's all well and good. But at the next fight against those outlaws, he gets hit in the head so hard that it like really fucks him up, and people thought he was gonna die, but he survived. But if he ever gets hit in the head again, he's likely to die. So he can no longer fight and become the knight he was supposed to be and all that. So he just has a miserable life.
Okay, question. So the Kingswood Brotherhood, I know we've like heard about them, but like very briefly, right? Like what do we know about them?
I think we heard about them in Jaime's chapter, that it was like, I fought that guy.
Okay, so nothing like much, like there's no, like, we don't have any significance to the people in there yet?
No, I don't think so. Like, some of them are named this time around. Well,
right. We'll get there.
Yeah.
But like, I guess I'm just wondering, like, so we have a couple names, so, and they were just basically like, we oppose the crown, or?
I don't know, they were outlaws.
Okay, they just kind of, okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, sounds good.
It doesn't really specify what their like overall goal was, but yeah. So then he's thinking about Peter Pimple and like how he got captured because he followed a camp follower somewhere. And then he's like, well, I guess it makes sense that he would go after the sex worker because his wife sucks. She's twice his age and also is having sex with his brother, Walder. One of the Walders.
Oh god.
Blackwalder,
also,
I think.
Incest, icky. Because Blackwalder is out here. Like, okay, the other people are like his like brothers or cousins' wives, which is, like, okay, terrible, but, like, not incest.
Yeah.
But then
Fairwalda. Yes.
who he is related to.
Mm-hmm.
Ick.
Yup.
So more incest. So all the families just have, like, a one little incest person going on.
Mm-hmm.
This is so icky. As if Black Walder wasn't icky enough.
Yeah, and he's known. It's said that he'd known the Seventh Lady Frey a great deal better than he should have.
Yeah, which is also so ick.
If that's, like, a known thing, how is Walder Frey, like, you know, the Walder Frey okay with that, you know?
I don't even know, bro. I don't even
like,
know.
He might be like, oh, your brother's sleeping with your wife, figure it out amongst yourself. But then, like,
yeah,
my son or grandson sleeping with my wife, how's he like?
Oh my god. Yeah.
I don't know.
The
know. Praise be fucked.
And fucking.
Okay, alright. Pipe down.
Okay. Also, okay. So, the whole Peter Pimple thing. So, he did this and, like, he just got unlucky, like, wandered off and, like,
yeah,
Brotherhood found him? Or was this a trap?
I don't know. I don't think we know.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Like, I would assume probably just unlucky. But
I don't know.
Because Peter Pimple didn't have any, like, he wasn't, like, the leader.
Yeah, but
like,
I don't think they're,
but
like...
I guess they don't know yet. Like, you think they're just, like, arbitrarily, like, Frey, you were there.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think they even care if he was a leader or not. Frey is enough of a sentence.
So then that's more evidence for, like, not a trap. Just, like, it happened and then he got unlucky.
Sure.
Okay, that's what I think, too. Okay, sounds good.
Okay, so he's reflecting on his father, who will soon turn 92. Mm-hmm. And he's, like, basically, he can't hear, he can't see, his gout is bad. He's about to die. Although I personally believe he's never gonna die, this evil man.
Please.
But, like, he's like, that's gonna suck for me, because my dad, while he sucks, does believe in caring for all of his own family.
Aww.
And when Sir Strevron was his heir, he had the same ideology. But now we've got all these, like, Raymond and Edwin and Black Walder who are horrible, and they're not going to keep me around unless I'm useful to them.
Icky.
And then he starts thinking about...
Also, I kind of have an unrelated question.
Okay.
Like I said, I spent way too long looking at the Frey whole family path of this thing, right? So, okay. So you know how the two people that were at Winterfell that, like, Catelyn was supposedly fostering, but Lord knows if she ever actually met, which is funny. She can meet them now! Sorry. And now they're with, like, Ramsay and them?
Sure, yeah.
Okay, so all of that, those people, we know who they are. Who were the people that Arya met at one point, and then one of them was like, I'm gonna marry a princess, but it was actually Arya.
It was like, one of them. What do you want me?
Okay, well, you're supposed to know who's who. So
Freys, like... I don't know the whole lineage of the Freys.
Okay, so, but was that when she was by Bolton? Was that when that happened?
Yeah, because she was working for Bolton, and Bolton was, like, with the Freys, you know? All chummy.
Okay. So, that was when that happened? Okay. So that at least gives me some
There's so
sense
many of them. I don't know. Like, you want names?
No, I don't need names. Just, like, that's good. I just was like, where was that again?
Hang on. Maybe I can find your name.
Okay.
Elmar Frey, Lord Walder's son by his 7th wife.
Okay.
I don't know what you're going to do with that information. I don't really
I just want to know.
care to.
I just like knowing little, you know? I
Sure.
feel like we have different niches of little information that we like to know.
I think for me, the Freys were just so, like, it's such a convoluted family tree that I'm like, never mind. It's one of the Freys.
I know, but I like... Oh, and it says in his thing, formerly betrothed to Arya Stark, a boy of 9.
Yeah.
Okay, slay.
And, like, the only ones that I kind of know is, like, Rosalind Frey, you know, like, the Red Wedding girl.
Yeah.
That her brother Olimar was Rob Squire, and it was weird that he wasn't at the Red Wedding, because those are, like, things of significance. Everybody else is just, like, whoever, you know?
Yeah. Okay.
So, speaking of somebody who's not so whoever, is Lothar Frey, who Merritt knows is very dangerous, and turns out he was like a major architect of the Red Wedding.
Yeah.
He plotted it all out with Roose Bolton, all the way down to which songs would be played.
That's cruel.
Yeah.
Wow.
So this guy sucks extra. And then he's talking about, like, oh my God, how am I going to survive once my dad dies? Because at the twins, you can really only trust your full siblings because, you know, everybody's like your half sibling or whatever. But even so, that's not, like, very trustworthy.
Yeah.
And yeah, he's just like, I feel so sorry for myself.
He's like, I have to prove that I'm... Okay, he's like, I have to prove that I'm, like, useful because they're only going to keep some people. So I gotta prove this. I gotta do this.
Yeah. He's basically like, if I get, like, there's a good chance that Peter Pimple will one day rule, or, like, his dad will rule, or somebody. And if he appreciates me doing this for him, then I'll be set. Oh, and this is where we get, like, all the info. Yeah, Craig Hall, the leader of the Brotherhood, the Kingswood Brotherhood, was the White Fawn. I think we get her name later as well. I'll point it out. It's once we see it. But basically I said, oh yeah, so he gets injured. He can't fight. He can't be a knight anymore. But his dad still manages to make him a good marriage with one of the Derrys. And the Derrys were really powerful. They were King Aerys's favorites. But then what happened? Basically, right after he got married, King Aerys died. And
oh my God,
the whole crown was overthrown, and the Derrys lost all their power, and that sucked. And then obviously he had to suffer multiple girls before she finally produced a son. Like, oh my God.
Oh my God. Wow. What
poor guy. But he's not very happy with his children. His eldest daughter, Amy, he calls her a slut. She was caught in the stables with no fewer than 3 grooms, which, good for you, Amy. But basically, he was then forced to marry her off to a hedge knight, who then went ahead and challenged Gregor Clegane to a fight.
Oh, God.
And, you know, inevitably died. So Amy came back, running back a widow, to Merritt's dismay and the undoubted delight of every stable hand in the twins. Which, God. She's a widow now, so who cares anyway, right?
Yeah. Poor Sir Pate. Well, not poor, dumb Sir Pate. Not even poor.
Stupid.
Like, what are you doing?
We're not going to use the word dumb, remember?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Sir Pate.
And then his
LOL.
other daughter, Fatwalda, he thought was like, this is great. Roose Bolton chose to marry her of all the Freys and the, you know, Frey Tower twins. I forgot what it was. But he didn't get kudos for that either, because Lord Bolton only chose her because she was the heaviest so that he could get the most amount of silver. And Walder Frey's like, well, you cost me double what it would have cost otherwise to make this alliance, so you suck.
Okay, but you offered the bride's weight
in
gold. Like, what did you think he was going to do with that information?
Yeah, it's like cause and effect, my dude. Cause and effect. Incentives and all that shit. People should always be trusted to act in their economic interests. So if you incentivize an economic interest, they're going to act in such a way. Okay, whatever.
Okay, business, bro.
So I'm just showing off all the knowledge I have gathered, okay?
Oh, God.
But, okay, so then it comes to his role in the Red Wedding. His one task and one task only, which is basically like, you had one job, dude. You had one job, which was to get the great John Umber so drunk that he couldn't fight. But even so, they drank enough that would have killed, enough to have killed 3 regular men. But even after that, the great John managed to kill 8 people and injured...
No. Like, 8 people took to restrain him.
It took 8 people to restrain him. It left 2 people wounded, 1 dead, and somebody without half an ear.
Wow.
And when he couldn't fight with his hands any longer, Umber had fought with his teeth. Now, this is a guy you want on your side.
You can say what you want about the North, about people in the North, but they're fucking loyal till their last.
Except Bruce Bolton.
There you go. Shh. We don't claim him. He doesn't count. There's always
we don't say bad things about the North anyway. We like the North, remember?
I know, but
You're like, you can say what you want. We say all good things anyway.
I know, but just let me be like,
let you do your thing. How could I?
Yeah. Let me pretend like I'm speaking to the masses who are Northern haters. Okay? No, like, because we're always like, oh, like, they're so about, like, their traditions and their but they're loyal and they're, and we're always like, oh, well, that was just Ned and that was just John Aaron. You know what? The North stands, like, what's that song that's like, it's like a childhood, like,
okay,
right?
So,
but anyway, the North stands alone. The North stands alone. The North stands alone. Anyway, continue.
Basically, great John Umber, cool guy, still alive,
Slay.
So that's good.
Wait, what?
Yeah, I don't think it says
that?
they killed him. I think they just restrained him.
King, go off. Okay, but also, my thing there is... Yeah, okay. But, like, I feel like... How much more drunk could you have gotten? Like, would it have even done anything? Or does his body just, like, cap out? And then he has, like, do you know what I mean? Like, it just doesn't... This doesn't feel like Merritt, you didn't get him drunk enough. This just feels like a great John Umber. Umber is just a beast.
Yes, but it was his one job,
Okay, but, like, it wasn't gonna work anyway.
Either
John
way.
Is just great John.
Hey, focus on the good thing. We don't care about Merritt. So yeah, I just gotta get back Peter Pimple and then I'll be cool. Okay, blah, blah, blah. Finally, he gets to Old Stones. And then from somewhere deep within the castle, music comes drifting through the trees. And... oh, Wenda. That was the name of the outlaw who branded him. Cool gal. I don't know anything about her, but cool gal. And he's thinking about, okay, this is it. I gotta do it. Just like and his head is pounding as always. And he's like, I just gotta hang on until I make this exchange and not like crawl off into the bushes and start crying. And this is when he like comes upon a singer who we know is Thomas Seven Strings. We know that. He doesn't know that. Is singing a song called well, not called, but it's High in the Halls of the Kings Who Are Gone, Jenny would dance with her ghosts. And I don't know if you remember. Right, that too, but also the ghost of High Heart would always ask for her Jenny's song, and I wonder if this is the Jenny.
Whoa.
Right?
Oh my god, everything matters, and it's so intense.
Everything matters.
I know, but like, not in like an anxiety way, but in like a I can hyperfixate on this way.
Yeah. Oh, and Tom's not singing this. He's just playing the song. But that's a minor difference, whatever. And, you know, Merritt, for some reason, is like, get off that there. You're sitting on a king. And obviously Tom's like, who the fuck cares? Like, the king's dead. I'm just keeping him company. And besides, don't you remember who I am? I sang at your daughter's wedding. And that Pate, he was my cousin.
Okay, where is Seven Streams?
Seven streams. Oh, right, because he sings. That's why he's seven strings, and he's from Seven Streams. Oh my god, I just put that together. Okay, sorry. Where is it? I don't know. Somewhere in the Riverlands. I don't know.
Okay, cool.
But basically, he's like, yeah, I was related to that Pate, and I sang at your daughter's wedding. How come your dad never asked me to sing for him? I hear he likes it loud. Yeah, but then somebody behind him steps up, and is this Lem?
I think so.
Yeah, who's like, did you bring the gold? And Merritt's like, yeah, I've got it here in my saddle, but I'll give it to you once you give me Pimple, or Peter Pimple.
Once you give me a pimple.
Yeah, but they basically go in and get the gold, and he can't stop them because what's he gonna do? There's many of them and only one of him. And somebody like takes a bite of it and is like, tastes right, feels right too.
And then this is where he realizes, oh shit, I'm screwed. But he's like, what can I do anyway? Like, and then he's like, oh, like, is Barrack here? Because he's my only hope at getting like, a fair thing going on.
At this point, he's thinking, oh, they're gonna keep the gold and Peter, not that they're also gonna keep me. Like, that hasn't occurred to him yet. Yeah, so he's looking around for Barrack Dondarrion, and people are like, well, he's needed elsewhere. And
is Homie dead?
I don't know. Is Homie dead? You tell me.
Because this feels like a really big thing to do without him, unless he's like instructed them that you can do this.
Also,
this kind of feels like
Thoros is not here.
Yeah, this kind of feels like which is also weird. Which is what makes me think that maybe Barrack's not dead. Like maybe he's off doing something else, and Thoros is too. But maybe he would have left Thoros in charge. And Thoros is gone because Barrack is dead and he's gone off to do something else. Because this really feels like the Brotherhood gone rogue. You know?
Yeah. A bit.
So it doesn't feel like a Barrack's like, hey guys, you know what I want you to do when I'm gone? So, and we already knew, like, he was on his, like, he was, like, on his 9th cat life, you know, vibes? like, you know, like, it was, like, there was no resaving him. So I fear that he may be dead, and this may be us just going off the rails a little.
Okay.
Just doing whatever we can for money and Catelyn, sort of. Anyway, we'll get there.
Yeah, so he's basically like, you have the money, give me my nephew, whatever. And they're like, oh yeah, he's just over on the Godswood, let's go. So they lead him to the Godswood, where Peter Pimple is hanging by the neck, dead. And Merritt's like,
question. Question/point/question. So, where are we? Old Town, Old Stones, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Old Stones. So, you know, this entire time he's like, this shit's a wreckage, castle's gone, ruins, whatever. So, did we know that was already a thing? Was that just like a side effect of the war?
No. This has been in ruins for like hundreds, if not thousands of years.
Oh, so this like is a ruin, basically.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Good to know. So the Godswood still being here is just like a vibe? Or is the Godswood also like, is it just because like, you know, it's super thick and dense and it's like hard to...
Yeah, I imagine the Godswood is less of like a, you know...
upkeep type thing?
Yeah, it's just basically turned back into a forest type of thing, you know?
Right. Okay, cool. Just making sure. Because, I don't know, I was confused. I was like, did they do this and just keep the gods? Like, I just didn't know what was going on.
Yeah, like, I don't know if somebody specifically tore down this castle or if over time I think somebody talked about, like, over time people took the bricks. Like, I think when Kathleen and Rob were here, they were talking about how, like, the bricks were taken by the locals just to go build their thing because it was abandoned, you know?
Right.
But it wouldn't make sense to, like, take the trees, like, right?
Yeah.
Like, they could have definitely logged the place, but they have forests, you know?
Yeah.
Okay, so Merritt's like, you killed him. And they're like, yeah, sharp as a blade, this one, aren't you? He sharp, what was it that you said? Brightest tool in the kit shed.
he's as bright as a blade.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so he's like, you can't do this. And they're like, yeah, we can. And, you know, basically he's panicking and they're like, well, we've got you here and we're going to do whatever we want with you. And you can't do that. I'm afraid. And they're like,
I'm afraid and I'm afraid.
yeah. Yeah. So Merritt's like, I'll tell you whatever you want. I'll do whatever you want. Just, like, let me go. I promise. And that's when they're like, as it happens, we're looking for a dog that ran away. And Merritt's like, what? What kind of dog? And it turns out they're looking for Sandra Clegane, who was traveling with a girl, maybe a boy, around 10 years old. Did you see him at the Red Wedding? And Merritt's like, no, I didn't. But also, like, there was lots going on. Like, I could have missed him, you know?
Yeah. So the whole thing, like, did they just assume he was going to the twins for the Red Wedding because of, like, the other evidence that they'd found?
Yeah. So basically, like, you remember, like, he kind of kidnapped Arya from them?
Yeah.
And then he went off. They were going to go to River Run, but then everybody was going to the wedding, so that they were heading to the twins, and they took that ferry. So they tracked down the ferry guy, and they were like, yeah, he had a little boy or a girl or somebody with him, right?
Right.
So now it's, like, confirmed that they were together heading for the twins.
Oh, okay. So they just used what they had. Because I was like, I don't remember him, like... Okay, no, that makes sense. Sounds good.
Yeah. So they're clearly looking for Arya. And Merritt's like, I don't have any of this. I have children. Please save me. And then they're like, well, children that the young wolf will never have. And then he starts doing this whole, well, he shamed us. The whole realm was laughing at us. We had to cleanse the stain on our honor. Basically all the things that Walder Frey is saying to justify his actions. And besides, it wasn't murder. It was vengeance. And also, we lost a bunch of people, too. It wasn't just them. We lost, like, 4 people.
Wow.
And also that direwolf of his killed a bunch of us. And they're like, oh, yeah? That direwolf whose head you sewed on Robb Stark's neck?
Ooh.
And he's like, I didn't do that. My dad did it. And it wasn't me. Lothar rigged the tents to collapse, and it was the bastard Walder who led the attack, and all, like, he's, like, naming all the culprits, you know? So they're like, we know exactly, like, we got evidence now.
Yeah.
Not that they really
exactly
care.
Who to go for.
Yeah. And this is when he's like, oh my god, wait. I heard Beric gives people a fair trial. I didn't do nothing. You have no witness.
Oh my god.
And then they're like, you're wrong there. As it happens, you're wrong there. The singer turned to the hooded woman. Milady. The outlaws parted as she came forward, saying no word. When she lowered her hood, something tightened inside Merritt's chest, and for a moment he could not breathe. No, I saw her die. She was dead for a day and a night before they stripped her naked and threw her body in the river. And Raymond opened her throat from ear to ear. She was dead. Her cloak and collar hid the gash her brother's blade had made, but her face was even worse than he remembered. The flesh had gone pudding soft in the water and turned the color of curdled milk. I'm going to throw up right now. Half her hair was gone, and the rest had turned as white and brittle as a crone's. Beneath her ravaged scalp, her face was shredded skin and black blood, where she had raked herself with her nails. But her eyes were the most terrible thing. Her eyes saw him, and they hated.
Oh, God.
Did you figure it out here?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I figured it out as soon as he was like,
throw her in the river.
They were like, no. They were like, you have no witness. And then they're like, you're wrong, my lady. And I was like, huh? And then I instantly was like, who was there? Like, who could? And then I was like, is this some sort of like fray? Another fray that they've captured? Like, what's going on? And then as soon as he was like, something tightened and he couldn't breathe, I was like, and then when he was like, she was dead for a day and a night, I was like, yeah. So I would say I got it quickly.
Okay. So she doesn't speak because they cut her throat too deep for that. But he just says, what do you say, my lady? Was he a part of it? And she just looks at him and nods.
Oh.
Merritt Frey opened his mouth to plead, but the noose choked off his words.
Oh my God.
And he did.
Oh my God. Oh my God, 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 oh my God. Oh my God.
Right?
What? This is not real. It's crazy because whenever, especially recently, it's just, our podcast has just come up a lot. Because we're recording more and like we're getting to the end of the book, so I think I'm thinking about it more.
Mm-hmm.
And anytime I have to explain to someone, and I can just see on their face their like limited perception of Game of Thrones.
Mm-hmm.
Because maybe they've seen like an episode of the TV show.
Or even
like,
if they watch the entire show.
Exactly. True. Or they know like 2 things, and I can see them backing away. And I just, like, not backing away, but they're kind of like, oh, it's a weird thing to have, like, a whole podcast on. But it's just, like, I wish they could know, like, this. And how much work went in. Like, do you know what I mean? It's like, I wish this is what was pop culture's representation of A Song of Ice and Fire. And I get why it's not. Like, you know, there is a lot more, like, jarring stuff. And there is a lot of problematic stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, also, there's, like, a lot of really intricate and, like, I would argue, like, sophisticated writing.
Yeah.
And I just, like, hate that it's, like, so overlooked. But also, it's, like, our little nugget to share.
Yeah, but like, also, you're very
crazy.
Sheltered. It's not as overlooked as you were thinking.
Okay, whatever. No, but I feel like it is.
But all the people you interact with, remember when people realized that you were not spoiled on the show because you're a child?
Right, like all the people that I interact with wouldn't know. But I don't know, even when I interact with, like, people older than me, they're just like, oh, okay.
Yeah, no. Most people's, like, knowledge of Game of Thrones is Game of Thrones the show.
Yeah, I don't think this is a me thing.
Yeah.
I think it's a general thing. I'm sure part of it is a me thing. I mean, I didn't get spoiled on anything, for goodness sake.
Oh, I love it. You're turning into a little fangirl.
Maybe, I guess. Yeah.
These last, like, several episodes. How good have they been, though?
They've been so good. But also, okay, like I said, I went back and read The Red Wedding, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, okay, don't hate me. Don't hate me. But, like, it was fine. But, like, there have been better chapters.
It was a pretty good chapter.
Yeah, like, it was fine. But it's just, like, I think I'm at this weird in between where I was like, oh, it's been a few months. Now I can go back and, like, appreciate it. And yeah, I did. But I think it was just kind of, like, I don't know, like, it just didn't have the same excitement anymore.
I think because you read it, like, so, like, you just read that chapter, you didn't read all the lead up.
Yeah. I think that's what it was, too. Because I think the chapter was just, like, I think because I was also being very analytical, I was just trying to remember who everyone was and compare it to everyone that he mentions and see, like, oh, Lothar was behind all of it? Did Lothar even do anything during the chapter? Like, those sorts of things. So maybe I was just too focused on technicalities or something, but I think, like, I don't know, it just, like, because the thing was, I didn't think it was going to have the same emotional impact anymore, because I already know what happens, right? But I still expected it to have some emotional impact, and I just kind of, like, read it.
Well, you just read the snippet. You didn't read the build-up.
I know. Okay, fine. But, like, don't hate
I think
me,
a better way would be actually for you to go back and listen to that episode and, like, see what you were thinking, and then you would be like, oh, this makes more sense now.
Oh, right, yeah. Yeah, because I think... Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, because I didn't take a lot of notes, and the thing was, most of my notes were after the fact, because I think that was one of the ones where I read it a couple times before we started, because it was just so jarring, where it was like... Or not that I read it a couple times, because that was the one where I was on the bus and chaosed out, but I think it was one of the ones where I, like, just, like, I had to read, like, the ending a few times and be like, what is going on? So a lot of my notes were, like, and because I was on the bus, I was making less notes, so a lot of my notes were, like, kind of, they weren't my first reaction, so my notes weren't as exciting either, because it was just, like, stuff that I know now.
Right.
A lot of my notes, like, you know, so I think it was just kind of, like, I think I just didn't get what I was looking for, and I was being very logical about it, like, okay, what am I looking for? But I don't know, but I still, I still enjoyed it, and it was still a really good, I would say it was still a really good chapter, but I think we've also just had so much excitement in this book, that, like, going back to that, I think I hyped it up in my mind a lot, too.
I don't think you did. I think you just your brain, like, you were approaching it differently this time.
Yeah, that's fair. But anyway, still really good. Still good writing, but I think I just, like, it just didn't hit emotionally. Okay. But anyway, okay. I'm gonna slowly
who to thank
give
it?
you my thoughts.
The deaths you already processed.
Okay, but everyone was still like, oh yeah, every time I read it, I want to cry a little bit. Or wait, no. A lot of people were like, oh, I didn't feel anything until I heard you crying about it, and then I felt like a heartless monster.
Yeah, that too. And like I said, it's not just about that one chapter. It really is, like, how that chapter, like, culminates.
It's the build-up.
I can't, like, emphasize that enough.
I know. They show up and you're kind of like, this is sus, but we have to do this. And then they're like, and then Arya's like, hey, I'm gonna see my mom. And then you get excited. And then you're like, wow, next chapter's the mom. Maybe she sees the mom. And then the mom fucking dies.
And then Arya fucking dies. Or so we think.
Not really.
Okay. So, Catelyn, how is she...
Did you see this coming?
Preet, spoiled.
When you watched
spoiled.
It? No,
I'm
when you
spoiled.
Watched it.
I'm spoiled.
When you watched it, did you see it coming?
Even when I was watching the show, I would go ahead and just read spoilers.
What is wrong with you? Why would you do that?
Well, it's done. That was years ago, unless you want to go back and fix things.
But why did you do that?
I'm not going to comment any further. So how do you think this is possible?
Ridiculous.
That Catelyn, in whatever stage she's in, is here?
Okay. This is giving, like, I have two kind of separate vibes. Okay. So, okay, sorry. So, Thoros, Mr. Wizard, right?
Mm-hmm.
And, like, they found her because Nymeria pulled her out of the water, right? All of that. So, like, magic, you know?
So, like, Thoros brought her back to life like he does with Beric?
Yeah, but the issue with that is, like, with Beric, it's, like, it's kind of like he's himself again, minus the physical aspects.
Well, no, he does say that every time he's brought back, he loses a bit of himself.
And I guess Catelyn's, I was supposed to say Catherine, oh my god. And I guess Catelyn's so, like, griefed up. And like you said, and like they said, like, the throat injury was also so deep. Like, I guess it makes sense that she can't speak. That makes sense. But I don't know, it just feels like she's more of a shell than Beric was even after his like.
Also,
saving.
Barrack would be brought back right after. She was dead for a couple days and rotting.
So I guess we can chalk up all the differences just to like circumstance.
I don't know. Can we?
No. I'm giving ideas. So maybe we can, right? Or maybe it's different. Or maybe it's, I don't know, because it also feels like, you know when Khal Drogo was brought back?
Yeah.
And it was like his body was there, but he also couldn't speak, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or if he could, like, it wasn't like he didn't have his thoughts anymore. It was like head empty kind of vibes. And then didn't he just like fall off his horse? Like he couldn't even ride his horse anymore?
Mm-hmm.
So this also
well, no. That happened before because he got sick, infected with the wound, and that's when he fell off the horse. And then afterwards, he was just a shell. He was like shell, not a person.
Okay, so and that was done by a Meiji, right? And wasn't there a Meiji around in the Riverlands?
Is there?
Wasn't there? I swear there was. Or maybe, like, I swear there was someone where you were like, Meiji, ? Or was that, like, the ghost of Highheart or something? I swear, I remember, like, during one of Arya's adventures, there was some point of, like,
I think in the Riverlands, the closest thing we have to that is the ghost of Highheart. There's one other person, but I don't know if we met them yet. Heard about them yet.
I think we have, because I specifically remember a conversation where we made the connection between, because I remember you or me, one of us specifically saying like, oh yeah, and remember who Dany encountered.
Well, it could have also just been the ghost of Highheart that we were talking about.
It could have, but I swear there was another person and they were a Meiji. Can you search this up to see if it's been spoiled?
What am I searching?
I don't know, Meiji Catelyn or Meiji Arya encounter, like something. Not like in your book, like on Google.
No, I can't Google it because there are things. Okay, we did hear about this. It's so remember Jane Westerling?
Mm-hmm.
This is when they hear about Robb marrying Jane Westerling. Like the Lannisters are talking about this. Because the Westerlings are Lannister bannermen, right? So they're like, oh yeah, Gawain Westerling, Jane's dad, is a good man. He would never marry his daughter to Robb Stark. It's his wife, Sybil Spicer, who did it. And Sybil's grandfather was a trader in saffron and pepper, almost as lowborn as that smuggler Stannis keeps. And the grandmother was some woman he'd brought back from the east. A frightening old crane supposed to be a priestess. Meiji, they called her. And no one could pronounce her real name. And half of Lannisport used to go to her for cures and love potions and the like. So there is like a potential Meiji, but in Lannister lands.
So it's like Jane's grandmother? ?
Jane's
mom's grandmother.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's kind of discounted. I don't think she's out here with them. Especially after they've won. She's not going to be avenging Robb's death.
Yeah, but also remember how we learned that the Westerlings were pardoned?
Mm-hmm.
So they were maybe in on it?
No, that's what I mean. She wouldn't be out here avenging. That's why I'm saying she wouldn't be out here avenging Robb's death.
Oh, okay.
If they were
so where did Meiji
side.
come from? Why are you talking about Meiji?
Maybe that's why. Because I think I was just thinking like, oh, it's similar to what happened to Khal Drogo, so maybe that's how Meiji magic works. But I guess the Khal Drogo thing was just because that Meiji wanted Khal Drogo to be like that.
Yeah, but that was somebody's great, like, is she still around? That was Sybil Spicer's grandmother. Jane Poole's great grandmother.
Yeah, for some reason, I think I was just confusing it with Highheart, because Arya was meeting all these new people. So I think I just assumed it was another person Arya met, rather than someone we just heard about. But okay, so I think it's just the Thoros thing, and I think the physical differences are just the differences in circumstance, and I think that the extreme grief is definitely a big part of it too.
Okay, so where's Beric? Where's Thoros?
Beric do be dead. Thoros is off doing something. Maybe, like, Beric died and then, like, Thoros couldn't get them to, like, fall into step behind him.
Yeah,
Maybe
they do have gone a bit off the rails.
Yeah, this doesn't feel... Yeah,
fair
so
trial,
maybe...
we don't do that no more. Mostly fair trial, partially fair trial, we don't do that either.
We just do one biased witness and go from there.
And, what's, Beric? So he just died one too many times and that's why he's dead?
I think so, yeah.
Cool. He died one too many times. That's so funny.
Right? So I think that's what's going on. Okay, I have a couple notes before, so I'm just gonna go through them.
Okay.
And then we can do predictions or whatever's left we haven't covered. Okay. I was also just thinking, like, the whole, like, Frey thing, right? So, obviously, we know that Mr. Big Frey, Mr. Walder Frey, isn't, like, he's not like, wow, merit my son slay, you know?
Mm-hmm. But he's also not gonna stand by letting his
no, I know, I understand that. He's like, you know, we stick together. But he also, so Merritt isn't his favorite.
Our family.
Basically. So Merritt isn't his favorite, but he also, you know, is like, wow, we need to go save Peter, or whatever. And he did make fun of Merritt when he was like, I'll do it. And he was like, you? Ha 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 ha.
Right.
Or heh heh heh. But, like, it is characteristic father's laugh, as Merritt would say. But, like, okay. But he also gave the money for the ransom. So, did the Freys just, like, assume, like, oh, this is real. This is someone ransoming us off. This totally isn't a trap. Like, did they even...
Yeah, because this is kind of a thing they do. Like, even Merritt himself, when he was captured by the Kingswood Brotherhood, he was successfully ransomed back, yeah.
So I guess, like Frey's not like, oh, this means something big. This is just a random ransom for my son because I'm a powerful lord.
Yeah, it's a thing that happens. It's a thing they do.
Okay, that makes sense. Because I'm just kind of like, in the middle of war, you're just, like, expecting this random thing to work. So I guess he just, like, didn't realize how serious it was vibes.
Yeah, I think now they'll, like, they even talk about it. He's not going to fall for the same trick twice. Like, now he knows.
Okay, yeah. Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. For one second, I also had a thought, like, because, like, the wolves are magical. Mm-hmm. So did Nymeria, like, I don't know, do, like, a healing potion? Like, I don't know, like, accidentally
but I feel like if that were the case...
Arya would have known.
Exactly.
Yeah. But
like, Nymeria left.
I'm just bringing it up. I'm just bringing it up in case it ends up being Nymeria. And then you're like, why didn't you think of that?
Okay,
so
fine.
So, yeah, that was an initial thought. But then I was like, I feel like George R. R. Martin would have given us some breadcrumb of that. So I don't think... Yeah. Yeah, because that was very much like... She was like, oh, my mom is dead. Grief. Leave. Because I don't want to get caught. Okay, so... Okay, so I know we've kind of come to the conclusion that they've kind of gone off the rails, probably due to Beric's death, Thoros unable to lead them. Like, maybe there's some factors in there, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, this whole thing. So Clegane got away from them.
Yeah.
Which they didn't like. Catelyn wants Arya, wants everyone at the Red Wedding to die, basically, right? They want they want money, so the ransom and everything. So I'm just kind of like, how do the priorities, like, obviously they're off the rails, but how do the priorities work? Like, is it just, oh, this benefits us both, let's do this? But since Catelyn's kind of a shell, is it just kind of they make her go along? Like, I don't know, I'm just curious, like, I'm just thinking about, like, how this works.
Well,
like,
maybe they feel aligned with Catelyn's cause.
Yeah, that's also my question is, like, yes, so their whole thing is, like, we save innocent people. So is it, like, they're like, wow, like, you wronged somebody at your own feast and all of that, and this alliance, and, like, is that, do you know what I mean? Like, I just wonder how much of this is our cause, and how much of it is losing sight of their cause. Like, I don't know, I'm curious about that, because it kind of feels totally straying away from what they do, but it also is like, you know, they need money and they're still helping an innocent person in this way. And we already know that they're fine with, like, bringing people back from the dead or whatever, but I guess, but in Beric's case it's different, because Beric is, like, literally their leader, and it feels contained, because it doesn't seem like they're doing it for anyone else yet. So, I don't know, I think I'm just, like, kind of curious about the priorities, and this also makes me think, like, how far do we go? Are we killing every single Frey? Are we killing every single Frey who was there, who knew? But in this case, it's just, like, all Catelyn knew was that he was matching Great John Umber, or Great John Umber was matching him drink for drink. And logically, she has to have figured out, okay, it was to get everyone drunk, all of that. Mm-hmm. So, if someone who all they did was get someone drunk is gonna die, who all is gonna die?
I feel like everybody's a target.
So every single person.
Well, I don't know. That's how I feel, but...
Yeah. So does that also... So what about, like, Bolton? Are we about to see, like, a Roose Bolton?
Sure, unless, like... I think it's a matter of who they can get their hands on.
Before they're stopped.
If they're ever stopped.
I don't know, because... I don't know, then it's also weird, because people have got to catch on soon.
Yeah, so...
I know, but I'm just thinking out loud. I'm not saying, wow, they shouldn't do this because they're going to get caught. I'm just thinking, like, I'm working through what I think is going to happen by thinking about it. So, those were some thoughts. And then also, okay, I was thinking, like, oh, why Peter first? But it makes sense because he kind of accidentally stumbled upon them because he was with the camp, with the girl. Okay. And then, yeah. So the High Heart person... as far as we know, was just, like, prophecy girly.
Pretty much.
Okay. Also, this is so interesting. Because now... Imagine if, like, Ghost Catelyn encountered, like, Littlefinger or some shit.
Imagine if Ghost Catelyn encountered Jon Snow.
I was thinking about that, too! That, and especially because he's supposed to be Robb's heir now. And I know now he's, like, Lord of Commander. Now he's Lord Commander. But still, like, is the North gonna stand for that? Is she gonna want to make Arya the heir? But is she even she can't even speak. And I don't even know if she's, like, mentally there. So, like, is it just people are, like, for example, the Brotherhood might be like, oh, well, she's your daughter, so she's heir, right?
So give me and then, like, 3 names of people she's gonna run into.
Okay, Jon Snow, because that's just epic. It has to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Jon Snow, Roose Bolton,
mm-hmm.
and Big Walder Frey.
All right.
I'm going for all the dramatic ones. Because you know what's so funny? Low-key, this is good for Tywin that he's already dead, because he's the mastermind behind all of this, so... Okay. Also, we continue the thing of everyone just dying if their name isn't on the chapter.
What does that mean?
Like, if it's a prologue or epilogue, if it's
right.
not their name.
Yeah.
They just die. Okay, also book 3's trend is just death. Like, yes, everyone dies in all the books, but I feel like book 3 has been, like, the most significant names have died.
Yeah.
So book 3 is just, like, should just be called, wait, what's this book called?
Storm of Swords.
Storm of Swords. I was gonna say a dearth of death, and then I was like, that's the opposite of what I'm going for. A of death.
A whole deal of death.
A whole deal of death, basically. Yeah. Yeah, I don't think I have any. Yeah, I think I'm just like really confused about the motivations of the brother. I keep saying Brotherhood without banners, because this just, I'm like, where's the impartiality in this? Like,
there's not.
So this is weird, because the entire time with Arya, they were like, we cannot pick a side, and now they're picking a side. And cool. I don't know how I feel about it. Also, I love the little, like, I don't know, this is definitely me reading into it, but like I said before, I love the, like, reverse Red Wedding vibes, where it's like, you have the music, but it is nice music, and then you lure the person in, and then, like, you know, it's just, like, I love the little method. It's cute. Yeah, I don't know where Thoros is, and I'd like to know. Also, what's Frey gonna do?
What is Frey gonna do?
Part of me, you know how we, like, when I was reading their thing in the appendix, it was like, one of their descriptors was, oh, he's one of the few people who probably raise an army out of his offspring. Mm-hmm. And we've said that a few times since we've met Frey, and part of me is like, is this just like, he's just gonna send his people to, like, fight the other people, but then he's gonna end up losing more of his people.
Who people? Which other people?
Like his family, his kids.
No. He's gonna send his kids to fight who?
The people who did this.
The Brotherhood without banners. Can you put names to things, please?
Yes. The Brotherhood without banners. Because he can't contact Tywin and be like, do something.
Yeah, Tywin's dead.
Yeah. Really? So I feel like he's just probably gonna send some of his people to do right the wrong, you know? Because I don't think he's gonna realize how intense, like, yes, he knows now, right, like, okay, they're trying to kill us, but I don't think he's gonna realize, like, it's the Brotherhood without banners. Like, I feel like he's still gonna think it's just some.
How is that gonna work out for him?
Not very good. They're gonna kill all of them.
Okay, great. Moving on. Anything else to say before I give you the name of the next book?
I don't
Basically
think so.
Me telling you to shut up so that I can move on.
Meanie. Sure. Yeah.
Wait, let me give you the initials first.
What? The initials?
You know how it's like ASOS.
Oh, SOS. Oh, yes. Yeah. And I'll guess.
A FFC.
FFC?
Yeah.
Is there any little, like, ofs in there?
Yeah.
Okay. A flower of Florent color.
It can't be of. It's FFC. It's not OC.
Oh, you said there's no little things in there?
There is a little thing, but it doesn't have to be of. It can be a different preposition.
F for C. F for C. A flower for cauliflower.
Why flower?
I don't know.
Because flower is, like, so thematic for this book.
Yeah. A Florent for cause. A fall. It's probably fall, because, you know, like a falling house. Mm-hmm. A fall for Castamere, because, you know, like Tall Tywin's thing. A Fault in Our Stars. What are big F words? Wait. That have to do with these books.
Okay, I'm gonna give you 10 more seconds and then I'm gonna tell you.
Okay. Clash? No, we've already had Clash. A friendly.
Okay, alright.
I can't
The
think of anything.
next book is called A Feast for Crows.
Oh! Oh! That's so fun! Wait, okay.
So what is A Feast for Crows? Think about that.
Question. Can we go through, because I always confuse them in my head, the symbolism of eagles, ravens, and crows in these books? Super quickly.
Ravens are the ones that bring the letters.
And ravens are also the ones that were being warged in the north?
Sure, yes.
Or was that an eagle?
There was an eagle. There was Oral, who was a warg who warged into an eagle. And that's the eagle that Melisandre lit on fire. You can warg into basically any animal.
Okay,
like, it just depends on
And the raven is, like, Mormont's raven, where I was like, maybe he's a warg.
Yeah, Mormont's raven, but there were also a bunch of those ravens that, like, went to Sam and were like, go flee and get on that horse or elk or something.
Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, flee, fly far or something like that.
Yeah. Okay.
And then crow, it's basically just the three-eyed crow. Let me just tell you, in the show, they call him the three-eyed raven. Just to, like...
That's annoying.
Confuse us, but also, I guess, to... Because they talk so much about ravens, they're like, let's just make him a raven. Who cares, right?
Please, yeah.
I don't know if it really matters. Like, we don't know anything about this three-eyed crow, you know?
Okay, sounds good. And it's a feast for crows.
Yes. But that has that has meaning even outside this world. So think about that. What do crows feast on?
Dead things?
Yes.
Okay. So a feast for crows. So we've had a lot of death.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's... So are we continuing that? I don't like that. I was hoping that was a trend for this book. Because I'm also thinking, like...
Maybe, like, the dead are there now and the crows are then feasting in the book, you know?
No, that makes sense. And so, like, because of... And also, because you know how we were like, oh, because of the dragons, a bunch of things started happening? So maybe because of the deaths and the crows, like, maybe it changes... Like, maybe something happens with the crows.
Yeah, but like all of these deaths that we've had, like Tywin's, for example, there's going to be a bunch of crows feasting on that death, you know? People are going to be wanting to grasp for power in his absence, that kind of thing, you know?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. No, that makes sense.
So, like, it doesn't have to be, like, literal, like, crows feasting on dead bodies. It's, like, what are people making of all the deaths that happened in this book?
Yeah, because there's so much cleanup to do that we haven't even started with any of it. Because it also makes sense, because now, with every single... I don't think with any of these deaths we have a clear heir. Because with Rob's death, there's, like, 5 different heirs, and every king is like, this is my heir for Winterfell and for the North. And then same thing with Tywin. It's like, who is Tywin's heir? Who's
it's
gonna
Cersei.
Be the hand?
It is Cersei.
I know, but, like, I just don't believe that stands. Same thing. Legally, it's Jon. Doesn't mean it stands.
Yeah, but nobody knows that it's Jon. Everybody who knew is dead or captured or lost to the seas or something.
That's so sad. Okay, but still, like, you know, like, there's... No, that makes sense. And I think... Yeah. And also with the three-eyed crow, like, we might finally meet the three-eyed crow. Mm-hmm. So there's meaning
What do you expect of this three-eyed crow?
Magique!
Yeah, but what does the three-eyed crow look like?
It has 3 eyes.
But, like, is it crow-sized? Is it, like, large-sized? Does it speak? Is it a
human that turns into... I feel like it's, like, a human that can go between, like, crow-human vibes.
Okay.
And then when it's in crow form, it can be like, Sam, come with me, you know?
And when it's in human form, does it have 3 eyes?
No.
Okay.
Maybe it just has, like, a mark across its forehead or something. Like, where the third eye is or something. That's so interesting. A feast for crows. Whoa. Can I open it and look at the cover?
Sure, go ahead.
A feast for crows. And there's a little, like...
Goblet
with, like, a bunch of engravings and shit. This can't be Joffrey's goblet, right?
No, that was a chalice.
Okay. Oh, oops. Okay. When the writing is this good, it's worth the wait. Yeah, it's not worth 20 years of wait, buddy.
Yeah, this book, I think, came out 2006. So let me confirm that.
Mm-hmm.
2005, October of 2005, and A Storm of Swords had come out 2000. So 5 years wait.
Damn, they
and
thought
the next
that was
one
a
came
big
out
wait.
in 2011, so 6 years wait. And the next one has not come out, so 14 years wait.
They really thought that 5-year wait, they did something.
Yeah.
Waiting though. Oh my god. Okay, that's so exciting. I'm also trying to think, maybe because Dani's finally settled down too. Now, like, for a bit, she's like, I'm gonna stay here so she can actually afford to have, like, a feast or, like, do something. You know? And, like, why? I'm thinking of how it connects to every character. Well, John's thing, I'm sure everyone's gonna be, like, trying to...
Okay, well,
like,
you don't have to make the predictions now. We gotta save something for the overview, the wrap up. Well, I don't know why, but every time I've gone to say wrap up, I want to say overview. Maybe we should rename it to the overview now.
No. That's just you.
Okay, fine. All right.
Can I read the backs?
No. Oh, those backs. Okay, yes, you can read the backs of the 2 volumes of A Storm of Swords. Go.
Okay,
read them out loud.
Okay. Book 3, Part 1 of A Song of Ice and Fire. I also want to read the reviews. Characters so venomous, they could eat the bourgeois. Guardian. Colossal, staggering. Martin captures all the intoxicating complexity of the War of the Roses or Imperial Rome in his imaginary world. This looks set to become one of the greats of fantasy literature. SFX. Blood runs truer than oaths. The 7 kingdoms are divided by revolt and blood feud as winter approaches like an angry beast. In the northern wastes, a horde of hungry, savage people steeped in the dark magic of the wilderness is poised to invade the kingdom of the north, where Robb Stark wears his newly forged crown. And Robb's defenses are ranged against the south, the land of the cunning and cruel Lannisters, who have his young sisters in their power. Not true. Fake news. Throughout Westeros, the war for the Iron Throne rages more fiercely than ever, but if the wall is breached, no king will live to claim it. Love that we're still dealing with the same things a book later. Interesting.
Yeah.
Robb Stark
pretty
wears
accurate.
his newly forged crown. Didn't he already have his crown for, like, a book at this point, though?
Yeah, but that book was like the duration of like 6 months or something, so.
Right, okay, true. Okay, part 2. The Starks are scattered. LOL. In heaven. And hell. Joking. I hope
well,
none of
the
them went to
only
hell.
Starks that are dead currently are Ned and Robb, so.
That's actually crazy. Oh my god. Okay. Robb Stark may be king in the north, but he must bend to the will of the old tyrant Walder Frey if he is to hold his crown. And while his youngest sister Arya has escaped the clutches of the depraved Cersei Lannister and her son, the capricious boy king Joffrey, Sansa Stark remains their captive. Meanwhile, across the ocean, Daenerys Stormborn, the last heir of the Dragon King, delivers death to the slave-trading cities of Astapor and Yunkai as she approaches Westeros with vengeance in her heart. So maybe she's feasting on them crows.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. And it's basically the same review on the other one. They ran out of good reviews.
They did not run out of good reviews. Maybe by the time this volume was published, they were like, never mind. He's never publishing a book again.
Stop. That's so funny.
Okay. That's good. Can we wrap this up?
I think so. But now I'm kind of like, oh, this book's over? Are we sure we're wrapping it up? Also, the condition of this book versus this new one that I haven't touched yet is actually like, wow.
Wow,
Like,
you really are a book abuser, aren't you?
I am, unfortunately.
We'll have to put those books in a museum afterwards.
Stop. I'm not doing that. Nobody's getting my permission to do that.
I'm
ever.
so looking forward to this next book.
No. Yeah?
Yes.
Okay, what are your thoughts on book 4? Or without spoilers, if you don't want
I think I've said it. Like, I love this book, and I think it's better on a reread. And I'm going to try to make you understand all the things that I understood on the reread.
Slay.
And also, this book has a certain caveat that I'm not going to tell you.
What? I'm scared. What could it be? Is it like, okay, I'm going to guess what it is.
Scared.
Is it like not all the chapters are like POV chapters or something?
Huh?
I don't know. Like maybe he changes up how chapters are done. Or maybe we get a bunch of new like, oh my god, I'm excited for our new POVs.
Okay, no. We got to talk about that in the wrap up. Okay.
Yes. We're getting too far ahead.
Thank you for sticking with us during this book. It has been a journey, truly.
It has been a journey.
We have lapsed 3 years, like 3 calendar years,
wow,
while reading this book. Like, it was because we started it in 2022, then we read it through all of 2023,
no
and now
way.
It's 2024.
Okay, that scared me. I was like, what do you mean? Oh
no.
God.
But
do you know what month we started?
I don't know, like August or September or something, maybe.
That's wackadoodle.
Yeah, and the next book, as you can already see, there's only 1 volume. It's not split into 2 volumes, so it's not going to be as long.
Oh, wait, I didn't even think about that. Oh, it's only half as much. Wait, now I'm scared. The series is going to be over so soon. Because it only took us a few months to read 1 volume.
Yeah, trust me, it's not going to be over very soon. Is
the 5th book really long?
Yeah, it's the longest.
Oh, so it has 3 volumes?
No, just 2 really large volumes.
Okay, I'm okay with that. Because I'm also scared, because once we finish this, like, as excited as I am to, like, watch the show and everything, like, so ready. But with these ones, I'm just like, oh my god, like, if we finish, then, like, I don't know, I'm just, like, scared that I'm not going to be interesting when we do the rereads.
Rereads? Why are we doing a reread?
Didn't you say you wanted to go back to it? Like, read?
I don't think so.
We could do a reread. That would be fun. And we could do like a bunch of
chapters. When are we doing a reread?
Time.
We're gonna die.
That's fine. We'll die doing something we enjoy.
I don't think I've ever seriously been like, let's do a reread. I may have jokingly said, if we ever finish this, let's do a reread.
No, but we could do like 10 chapters at a time, and then we could finish a reread.
You know what?
And like,
we first have the show to conquer, if ever, before we do any rereading.
Okay, question.
Let's just hope we don't have to resort to rereading, and that we get the 6th book. And then the 7th book.
That's my question, Kate. Knock on wood. If we're done the 5th book, and the 6th book isn't out yet, are we starting the show?
Yeah, like what else are we gonna do?
Okay. But what if we... Oh, because you said they run out of source material really quickly, right? Oh, wait! I'm so dumb! Because then I'll be as spoiled as you.
That
so
word
of course...
Again.
Okay, I'm sorry. Because, oh my god, that makes so much sense. Because by then, I will be as unspoiled as basically everyone, except I won't have seen the show. So of course we can start the show.
Yeah.
Okay, never mind. Let's finish this book off quickly. Okay,
these are all things I've been saying, and you're acting like they're a big revelation.
Okay, you know what? I'm tired.
Okay. All right, people, we're getting to that part of the episode where we're cranky and tired and angry. So send us emails and join the Discord and follow us on Instagram at Pop Culture Symposium. And until the wrap up, farewell, my friends.
Talk to you later.